The following local area emergency has been issued at the request of the Emergency Management Agency located in Chicago, Illinois. Effective until further notice. There have been multiple reports of missing people and attacks from an unknown threat. Local police are on high alert and
we interrupt our regularly scheduled programming. This is a national emergency. Important details will follow. The following emergency action notification is being transmitted at the request of a primary entry point system, the Federal Bureau of Investigation, and the White House to participate in the National Emergency Alert System. This is not a test. Repeat, this is not a test. There are national and global reports of an extremely hostile humanoid organism attacking citizens. These organisms are not considered human. We are still trying to gather a complete understanding of this threat. For your immediate safety, it is highly recommended to stay home. Do not leave your home for any reason. Close and lock all doors and windows and isolate yourself and loved ones from the outside world. Make sure to have at least 14 days of food, water, clothing, medical supplies, a first aid kit, a flashlight, and a battery-powered radio with extra batteries. Try to stay in the most interior room on the bottom floor. If you hear noises from outside your home or knocking on doors or windows that lead outside of your home, do not investigate. If you hear something breaks into your home, try to hide. You have the right to defend yourself from this threat. Hospitals and other certain public places will be given procedures on dealing with this situation. Anyone at public places will be notified of this situation and instructed to go home by law enforcement. More information on the threats will be released shortly. Sirens will sound when the information is about to broadcast. The National Emergency Alert System has been activated.
This is a national emergency. Important details will follow. The following National Temporal Phenomena Attack Warning is being transmitted at the request of the Department of Temporal Phenomena, authorized by the Federal Bureau of Investigation and the White House to participate in the National Emergency Alert System. This is not a test. Repeat, this is not a test. The United States Department of Temporal Phenomena is a United States federal executive department that has been studying the hostile organisms that are currently attacking U.S. citizens. The hostile organisms have been named alternates. Please stand by for information on these hostile creatures to ensure you and your family's safety. The United States Department of Temporal Phenomena has discovered 3 types of alternates. Type 1. This type appears to have an exact same physical appearance as an already existing person or recently deceased person. The main physical difference is a change of clothing or hairstyle. This type may also have an altered voice, both a minor change or a heavily distorted voice, or the inability to speak but only has the ability to make distorted sounds. This type may also have a different mood and seems to alter your mood negatively while in its presence, which most commonly is uneasiness or an overwhelming sense of dread. If you see someone who looks exactly like you, turn around and escape as you can. Once you escape, hide immediately. Do not attempt to make contact with an alternate of yourself for any reason. If you notice someone you know, such as a family member, has a sudden change in clothing, hairstyle, mood, altered voice, distorted voice, inability to speak, or alters your mood negatively while in their presence, attempt to escape immediately. Hide immediately. Do not attempt to make contact with an alternate of a family member or friend. Do not trust any stranger for any reason. Type 1 alternates are known to be intelligent. These alternates will use psychological warfare to take advantage of you. They will try to draw you out or even make you attempt suicide. It is recommended that you do not make any form of contact with any alternates. However, if you must face an alternate, you can make an attempt to execute an alternate yourself using any means necessary. More information on the threats known as alternates will be released shortly. Sirens will sound when the information is about to broadcast. The National Emergency Alert System has been activated.
Extreme emergency alert. Pay close attention. Extreme emergency alert. Pay close attention. Extreme emergency alert. Pay close attention. This is a global emergency. Important details will follow.
This is not a test. Repeat, this is not a test. The following National Temporal Phenomena Child Abduction Warning is being transmitted at the request of the Department of Temporal Phenomena and the White House to participate in the National Emergency Alert System. This is not a test. This is an attack warning. Repeat, this is an attack warning. An attack warning means that an attack against the United States is imminent or is currently taking place. There are reports from the United States and around the world of mass child abductions. Children are disappearing from homes. The United States Department of Temporal Phenomena has concluded that this is a result from an entity known as an intruder. An intruder is not considered an alternate. Only one type of intruder has been identified. The intruder seems to only be able to directly interact with children and dead bodies. For your children's immediate safety, ensure that your children do not have access to television or medium that can project potentially frightening imagery. If your child is currently viewing a television or medium that can project potentially frightening imagery in a separate room, approach the room carefully. If you hear screaming from the room, wait until the screaming has ceased. For your own safety, do not enter the room for any reason until your child stops screaming. Once there is no more noise, you may enter. Turn off and destroy the television or medium. Intruders are known to make themselves appear mainly through analog television. It is highly recommended to use a television that uses only digital transmission. This seems to significantly reduce the chance of encountering an intruder. Intruders are also known to tamper with dead bodies. If there is a dead body near you, dispose of it immediately. More information on the threats known as alternates will be released shortly. Sirens will sound when the information is about to broadcast. The National Emergency Alert System has been activated. This is a national emergency. This message was requested by the Department of Temporal Phenomena and approved by the Department of Defense and the Department of Justice. Important details regarding the threats known as alternates will follow shortly after the alert tones. The following temporal phenomena survival message is being transmitted at the request of a primary entry point system and the White House to participate in the National Emergency Alert System. This is not a test. The United States Department of Temporal Phenomena has identified two more types of alternates. Type 2 alternate information cannot be disclosed at this time. Type 3. These alternates are considered extremely hostile. It is very easy to recognize this alternate. This alternate's features may include missing all facial features including the eyes, ears, nose, mouth, and hair. It also includes biologically impossible characteristics including a body part that is significantly bigger than the proportion of its body, such as the head, or limbs that are significantly longer than the proportion of its body, such as extremely long arms or legs. There are countless biological impossibilities that these creatures possess, making it very easy to identify from a human being. This alternate's features also include its skin being completely black. A body part could be completely black unlike the rest of its body. The most common is a face and/or neck that is completely black unlike the rest of its body. The entirety of the alternate can also be black. It is best described as a shadow with eyes. It is extremely hard to see in low light settings. Always stay in an area with ample light. Type 3 alternates are known to be intelligent. These alternates will use psychological warfare to take advantage of you. They may try to draw you out. But it is more likely that they will make you attempt suicide. Do not take your own life. Alternates are able to take over your body if you commit suicide or if it kills you. It is recommended that you do not make any form of contact with any alternates. However, if you must face an alternate, you can make an attempt to execute an alternate yourself using any means necessary. More information on the threats known as alternates will be released shortly. Sirens will sound when the information is about to broadcast. The National Emergency Alert System has been activated. This is a national and global emergency. This transmission contains two messages. Important details regarding national security of the United States and other countries, and civil safety of the United States, will follow shortly after the alert tones.
Message 1.
The following national statement message is being transmitted at the request of the Department of Defense, the Central Intelligence Agency, and the White House to participate in the National Emergency Alert System. It has been discovered that the President is an alternate after attempting to signal a launch of nuclear missiles to foreign nations for no apparent reason. This alternate has been neutralized by Secret Service agents. The Vice President has committed suicide due to a possible intruder or alternate encounter. Due to the current national crisis, presidential power will temporarily be transferred to the Secretary of the Department of Temporal Phenomena. All active duty military personnel outside of the United States will be returned to the United States due to the global crisis and to the major events that are currently taking place around the world. The National Guard is being deployed to assist overwhelmed law enforcement agencies. At this time, all countries are currently being affected by this global crisis. Several governments and terrorist organizations have utilized this global crisis for their own gain. The Russian Federation has initiated a full-scale invasion of Estonia, Latvia, Belarus, Ukraine, and Georgia. The People's Republic of China and Democratic People's Republic of Korea, or North Korea, has initiated a full-scale invasion of South Korea. Pakistan and India have declared war, and attacks have already begun. At this time, the United States, the North Atlantic Treaty Organization, and other allies have agreed to not participate in any wars, unless attacked, as the current global crisis is top priority. Terrorist organizations are currently attempting overthrowing already overwhelmed governments in several Middle East and African countries. These countries are expected to fall first to the global crisis. Many riots and lootings have begun in most countries, including the United States.
Message 2.
The following temporal phenomena survival message is being transmitted at the request of the Department of Temporal Phenomena and the White House. Please stand by for vital information on your survival. The Department of Temporal Phenomena has discovered a new disorder called metaphysical awareness disorder. This disorder is a fatal mental illness disorder. A sudden rise of cases of this disorder has been due to the global crisis of alternates and intruders. Metaphysical awareness disorder is a result of exposure to information that is not desired to be known. The rate of death by suicide in victims with this disorder is 97%. Do not panic. Panic will only worsen the disorder or make it more likely to develop this disorder. The Department of Temporal Phenomena has come up with successful steps to reduce development of this disorder and lessen the effects of the disorder. The first step is to completely avoid excessively frequent use of religious practices. Second, avoid unnecessary beliefs in philosophical implications. Lastly, looking after your loved ones is a key factor for maintaining mental stability. More information on the global crisis will be released when it becomes available. The Department of Temporal Phenomena strongly advises all citizens to seek shelter immediately and not to participate in any rioting or looting, as there have already been reports of mass alternate attacks on rioters and looters. Most attacks consist of Type 3 alternates, which appear extremely aggressive and hostile when confronting people in public places. The President has called off the deployment of the National Guard as there have been reports of some soldiers firing on civilians and other soldiers. These soldiers are believed to be Type 1 alternates. Do not follow the instructions of any National Guard soldier. However, local, state, and federal law enforcement have all been required to go through a test to confirm they are human. Follow the instruction of any law enforcement officer. The National Emergency Alert System has been activated. This is a national emergency. This transmission contains 2 messages. Important details regarding federal law and civil safety of the United States will follow shortly after the tone. The following emergency action notification message is being transmitted at the request of the Department of Temporal Phenomena, the Federal Bureau of Investigation, and the White House to participate in the National Emergency Alert System. The President has authorized the television and mirror destruction order, which requires that any citizen in possession of analog devices to contact their local authority to dispose of all analog devices. Failure in doing so is considered a felony and you will face a felony charge. You will be sentenced to life in prison with no chance of parole or bail, and possibly a fine of up to $100,000. Resisting and following this law, which includes but is not limited to purposefully hiding analog devices, lying to law enforcement about being in possession of analog devices, and physical resistance against law enforcement from taking an analog device is extremely illegal, and you and everyone in your home will be considered an enemy of the state. Law enforcement will assume you and everyone in your home is aiding in the extinction of humanity and therefore will be treated as an active terrorist threat, even if you surrender. Everyone in your home will be executed. The Federal Bureau of Investigation will search for analog signals from analog devices in 1 hour, so do not try to hide them or you will be caught. Even if you leave them off, it is highly likely that an intruder will turn on the device even if disconnected from a power source, and you put your life at risk from an alternate encounter or execution from law enforcement. Start calling your local law enforcement immediately. Do not bring your analog device to the front door. Do not touch the analog device. Do not look at your analog device. Do not try to hear for your analog device. Stay outside the room that your analog device is located at. Direct your law enforcement officer to the exact location of the analog device to ensure proper handling when they arrive. If you are listening to this transmission via an analog device, then turn this off immediately, leave the room, and contact your law enforcement immediately. You will be given a replacement digital transmission device. The following temporal phenomena survival message is being transmitted at the request of the Department of Temporal Phenomena and the White House. It has been discovered that alternates can only find you by direct visual contact and noise. It has been observed that alternates can sense the general area you are in by fear. More fear means they can pinpoint your location more accurately. It is highly recommended to hide out of sight and to make as little noise as possible. An alternate's vision is significantly better than any other known living being. It can see you in complete darkness. It is unknown how sensitive its hearing is. It is unknown if alternates will leave your home after searching long enough. Intruders are now known to cause a very high amount of fear in anyone who views them. This fear is used by alternates to track your location. In the event an intruder
The emergency alert system is currently experiencing technical difficulties. Please stand by. The emergency alert system is currently experiencing difficulties in broadcasting digital signals. The emergency alert system analog signal broadcasting is operational. Digital signal broadcasting will be disabled shortly and will stay disabled until repaired. Use a device that can receive analog signals immediately. This includes television and radio devices that can receive analog signals.
A transmission being broadcasted by the federal government has issued a civil danger warning for the United States. This is an attack warning. Repeat, this is an attack warning. The broadcast that you received from the emergency alert system was not broadcasted at the request of the United States government. The broadcast was transmitted by an unknown entity, appearing as some sort of a higher being. If you are watching this on an analog television, turn it off immediately and dispose of it. Call 911 so local law enforcement can dispose of it. Turn off your analog device now.
Why do you try to escape while you fear? You will be punished for resisting my message.